the shooting range. In this episode, the M26 Pershing Ariete, how this American tank changed after moving to Europe, the best way to celebrate New Year. Hotline, the developers answer questions that you've left in the comments. But first, let's start with remembering what we've all achieved this year. Yet another year has passed. Our game has celebrated its 6th birthday, and it has changed so much that the total volume of text in patch notes is comparable to some adventure novels. So, let's go over the brightest highlights of the year, shall we? In March, we introduced the Update 1.77, codenamed Advancing Storm. Its biggest and most important feature was a complete revamp of War Thunder's game engine, the Dragor engine, which allowed us to drastically upgrade the visuals of this game. We've worked on a new landscape creation technology and weather effects physics, added realistic mud and puddles to the battlefields, and changed how the lighting and shadows work. Moreover, in this same month, we reworked the sound of the tank battles. It was a first step in a grand upgrade of War Thunder's sound design. Of course, we didn't forget about new vehicles. The legendary machines such as the M1 Abrams, the Challenger, and the T-64B graced us with their arrival. And yes, how could we not add some new, equally cool planes? For instance, this great user-made model of the German Heinkel 177A5 Greif bomber. On April Fool's Day, we added submarines to the game, a completely new type of machine, and with guided torpedoes to boot. It was a colossal work, and for what? Just for a quick prank. Or maybe it wasn't just a trifle with ya? In the middle of June, we released the Project X update, and that release marked the completion of numerous important goals at once. Firstly, War Thunder finally reached a new platform, Xbox One. Secondly, the long-awaited, fully-fledged testing of the fleet had officially begun. Although it was a closed beta, which included ships of only 2 nations, it was a solid start. Thirdly, the update brought along an entirely different type of armament in the form of the Fritz X guided glide bomb. Additionally, to make the top tanks that we'd added earlier not so lonely, we introduced new powerful machines from Germany, France, Britain, and Japan. And you know what that means, right? New machines, new maps to try them out on. This time, it was Italy and Ladoga. To top that off, thanks to your creativity, our revenue share program brought the first Romanian aircraft to War Thunder, the IAR-81C. And finally, this update marked a complete rework of air battle sound. We continued what we had started in the spring. Impressive, right? Nah, hold your horses. The second half of the year was even more bombastic. Before the September update, we added the Soviet fleet to keep the US and Germany in check. And then, in the beginning of the fall, the Valkyries update introduced a new but long-awaited type of machine, combat helicopters. Only for Soviets and the US for the moment, but with time, other nations will definitely receive their own helis. Oh, also, the Soviet tankers finally got their hands on a new top tank, the T-80B. Also, just as a cherry on the top, 2 new locations, American Desert and Vietnam for air battles. A mere month later, we released the Masters of the Sea update, which, in a manner of speaking, opened the floodgates. The fleets of the US, Germany, and Soviet Union finally left the testing phase and became available to all aspiring admirals, along with Sea Battles game mode and a special location, Black Sea Port. In the meantime, the British fleet went into closed testing. like all the other nations will sooner or later. The Germans were especially lucky this time. On top of the ships, they also got a package chock full of helicopters. By the end of the year, we released the Supersonic update, which brought not one, but 2 new tech trees at the same time, fulfilling some of the most popular requests that we were seeing in the comments. War Thunder finally has its 6th rank of aircraft with ultra-modern supersonic planes. Moreover, the new machines and some helicopters gained access to a new type of armament, air-to-air missiles. Of course, to counteract such a weapon, helicopters received special heat flares capable of fooling these relentless hounds into stopping their chase. Ground tech devotees finally got their hands on the Italian ground tech tree, full of both familiar and very peculiar vehicles that require a method to their madness. The Israeli Short Kal Dalet, another version of the Centurion, also wasn't late to that party. And like before, new vehicles came with new locations. Afghanistan for air battles, Fuego Islands for naval battles, and Vietnam Hills for mixed. Not bad for just 1 year's worth of progress, right? It'll only get better next year. Write in the comments what you want to see and hear from us in 2019. While you're busy, we'll move along and get acquainted with yet another Italian vehicle. The Pershing had already proved itself as an excellent American machine. What can it offer in its Italian incarnation? Let's find out. The M26 is named after General John Pershing. This vehicle served as a successor for the M4 Sherman in the US and came to Italy with a similar purpose, to replace outdated World War II tech. The M26 sits at a battle rating of 6.3. Its M3 90mm cannon with a top APC shell penetrates 164mm at a distance of 100 meters. That's more than enough to take down almost any opponent at this battle rating. With just one shot, might we add. These babies pack a devilish punch. If you by any chance stumble upon a heavily armored juggernaut, your APDS shells with 264mm of penetration will take care of it. Also, don't hesitate to use the commander's M3 Browning at a pinch. In right hands, it can mow down especially annoying planes and AA guns alike. If you fully upgrade your 5-man crew, you'll be able to fire your main caliber every 7.5 seconds. Only the T-44 can beat that kind of fire rate. Couple that with a stellar turret rotation and standing turn speed, and you'll get a machine capable of aiming at and destroying its target as soon as it enters your field of vision. The defense of the M26 is on par with its firepower. 100mm in the front and 2 armor plates in the gun mantlet, making a total of 203.2mm in the gun mantlet. With elevation angles from -10 degrees to +20 degrees, it allows you to fire from positions unreachable by other tanks. However, it's almost a criminal offense just to stand still on the M26, because the upper glacis plate is at least 100mm thick. There are soft spots, of course, the lower glacis plate and the operator's machine gun, but you can cover them with decorations. The sides are okay too. 76mm of armor and a slightly weaker spot near the motor transmission compartment. It takes M26 a while to accelerate up to its maximum of 48 kph. On average, you'll be moving at around 25 to 30 kph. The standing maneuverability, however, is off the charts, and the reverse speed of 14 kph won't leave you victim to the whims of fate. In arcade battles, obviously, the numbers are even higher. the problem with acceleration dynamic outright disappears. The Italian M26 turned out to be an all-purpose tank capable of fighting both in densely packed urban environments and hilly terrain. In towns, its great dynamic allows it to change the course of the movement and react to combat situations in a split second. Angle enemy shots from behind a corner, show only your tracks, and remember about your fast reloading speed. When it comes to wide-open locations, you can utilize your elevation angles and take impossible high ground positions. More often than not, you'll trail behind your allies. So try to find a position which you can take immediately after the battle starts. Marathons are not your cup of tea. You can take as much ammunition as you want, but try not to eat any shells with your gun mantlet. The first order ammo rack is right behind it. If the mantlet gets breached, you're toast. The main advantage of this Italian premium is that you're with the Axis forces, which means that the most fearsome enemies, the Tiger II tanks, are actually your best friends. That leaves you with fighting your own brethren, even though it also won't be as easy as you'd think. Anyway, the M26 Ariete is a nice opportunity to get reacquainted with this beautiful machine and feel the might of the American tank building. The annual War Thunder Holiday Marathon has officially begun. Let's take a look at what it has in store for us. Oh, thank heavens! Finally! It's that time of year, folks. The sounds of explosions and gunfire is resonating with a crackling of sparklers. The screams on the radio channels make way for sweet silence, because everyone needs to gorge on as many tangerines and other festive foods as they possibly can. As is tradition, we prepared a giant sack of gifts for you. Here are the best of them. To kick off the celebration on December the 21st, we've started the Festive Quest. You can complete special missions to earn Christmas toys and exchange them for prize coupons. What can they get you? Well, a lot of stuff. For tankers, there are machine gun decorations, the second-rank Soviet Su-85A, the fourth-rank American T-30, and camos for all of them. For pilots, there are pin-up decals, the second-rank French MB-152C1, the German fourth-rank Focke-Wulf 190C, and, you guessed it, camouflage for all of them birdies. Of course, every piece of tech listed here is a premium model. Don't be upset if you don't get everything you wanted. You can buy the stuff you've missed in the Achievements tab. Besides personal rewards, you can help your fellow players to light the plethora of festive lights on our giant Christmas tree. A new Christmas light switches on each time when one of the players completes the relevant mission. You're working together here. The brighter our tree gets, the cooler your gifts will be. You can track the progress on the main page of our website. At first, you'll get some research boosters, but if you keep at it, then all participants will be able to get a unique coupon for 9 Christmas light achievements. Pilots will also get the American P-43A-1, and tankers, the British A-34, aka the Comet 1 Iron Duke IV. You've plenty of time to do your part. The event ends on January 14. You might think that the naval enthusiasts won't get anything pleasant to commemorate the occasion, but it's not exactly true. Many of the special missions are incredibly easy to complete, specifically in naval battles. Besides, there's an event going on right now where you need to capture Christmas trees, and all admirals are invited. There will be other unique naval events in the future, don't you doubt that. Oh, and on the side note, don't forget to visit our online store. In the next couple of days, there will be a very pleasant price cut on a lot of stuff. Happy New Year and happy hunting! Get ready for the traditional last part of our show, Hotline, developers answering questions from the comments. The first question comes from a user called Aviv Tal. Are you going to add Merkava? Hi there, mate. Let's just say that Israel Tech has very good chances of appearing in the game. Then there is another message coming from Shokeron. Good hunting to you, Bruce. Love your voice. This time I have two questions. Are there plans for player-controlled aircraft carriers for the flying players to land on? If there are, I will try to suggest some features. 2. A new award, Rambo. Kill more than 5 tanks single-handedly without dying. Award 2,000 Silver Lions. Back to Fligly Flugring with RB mode. Hi there. As for the aircraft carriers, no, we're not planning on making them player-controlled. We've meddled with them some time ago and came to the conclusion that these ships are too slow to be interesting, at least for now. We might return to this idea, but not in the updates, that's for sure. Next, there is this request from pilot 22117. Are you going to add submarines into War Thunder for everyone to use? In the nearest future, no, we're not. Later, we'll see. And the last, very serious message is from I'm not using my real name. What's the World War mode again? Hi, mate. It's when you take her out on a Friday night and you don't want to act your age. So you declare war on her squadron, and her squadron declares war on your squadron, and suddenly things go south, and you're fighting on a global map, and Bubba comes crawling out of the back door with both legs missing, and he looks up at you and says, I'm not using my real name. I can't feel my legs. And you say, Bubba, they ain't there. And, well, long story short, that's a new game mode that we're working on. Yeah. That's it for this year. Feel free to write your questions in the comments below. We do read them all, and you might see some of them answered in the next episode. If you like what we're doing, don't forget, please, to subscribe to our channel. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, and we'll see you on the shooting range.